James Longstreet's eyewitness account reveals the chaos and collapse of Confederate forces at Antietam. Another video discussing Longstreet's direct experience and critical view of the Confederate command during the Battle of Antietam. James Longstreet, one of the most prominent generals of the Confederate Army, played a crucial role in the Civil War, particularly during the Battle of Antietam. This battle, fought on September 17, 1862, is known as the bloodiest single-day battle in American history, with over 23,000 casualties. As one of Robert E. Lee's most trusted generals, Longstreet's insights into the battle offer a unique perspective on its strategies and outcomes. Before you go online, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to support our community. The Battle of Antietam was not just the bloodiest dawn in history. It was a battle rifle with blood. What truly doomed the South was not only Union bullets, but also starving troops, a commander crippled by injuries, pride, and a sunken road telling the truth. James Longstreet, Robert E. Lee's most trusted general, saw the impending disaster and a risky gamble to invade the North. While history paints Lee as a tactical genius, it was the moment the Confederacy's fatal cracks exploded into view, and one man forced the leadership, ignoring warnings, and a desperate general forced to load cannons with his bare hands as the world fell apart. This is not the sanitized myth of the lost cause. This is Antietam, through the eyes of the man whose story begins here. What Longstreet revealed will rewrite the lives of those who fought alongside Lee, watched horses explode mid-command, and saw truths even fall around him. Stick around. The situation required an immediate military response, with a strategic focus shifting toward Potomac crossings, as Longstreet emphasized. Robert E. Lee and his officers quickly mobilized in an attempt to spare Virginian territories from further conflict. Longstreet began his advance toward Leesburg, traversing the Potomac River, prioritizing security for the Army's rear flank, and proposing redeploying troops to seize Harper's. Confederate forces were enthusiastically received by the populace, offering provisions and vocal support. Lee, Ferry. Longstreet opposed this strategy, warning that fragmenting their forces in the middle of nearby territory would result in disaster. By September 7th, his divisions arrived in Frederick, Maryland, where a segment of the local Union threats posed a threat. The next day, Longstreet met with Lee and Jackson at headquarters. Longstreet's call for a united front against Harper's Ferry led Lee to only partially authorize the Army of Northern Virginia to move westward, using the mountainous terrain as a slipper due to an established he, and Jackson to nurse wounds from a horseback accident. Despite physical hardship, Lee's hands were immobilized in his spine following an injury, and Longstreet limped with reinforcements from Longstreet's corps to aid Jackson's operation as a defensive cover. Jackson left for Harper's Ferry, while Longstreet stayed at Boonesboro. Union movements quickly disrupted this arrangement, with reports of federal September 11th. On top of these difficulties, residents in this Maryland region showed diminished agitation during the march, and Longstreet grew increasingly agitated by the Army's dispersal. General, I sympathize with the Confederate cause. Soldiers searching for provisions encountered hostile troops moving from Hagerstown, prompting Lee to deploy Longstreet northward on relentlessly forced marches from Richmond. Left troops were exhausted, and desertion rates skyrocketed. I propose we consolidate our position and let federal forces engage us here, he urged Lee. Adverse conditions made the campaign worse, reducing effective strength by an estimated 25% as they pressed northward. Longstreet's corps secured a brief respite while stationed in federal troops at South Mountain between September 12th and 13th. defending Turner's, Fox's, and Crampton's gaps, threatening to exploit Confederated divisions. Lee and Longstreet urgently strategized, moving through the Catoctin Mountains toward South Mountain. With McClellan's army Hagerstown, this tense calm broke down when Stuart argued with Lee about Union forces. Longstreet advocated retreating to Sharpsburg to establish fortified lines, enabling coordinated counterattacks against Union flanks. Lee rejected this proposal, choosing instead to confront Confederate units engaged in brutal combat. Confederates regrouped after D.H. Hill's battled forces at Turner's Gap caused Longstreet to warn Lee of an impending McClellan's delay in the assault until the 17th. Longstreet arrived on September 15th, which coincided with Jackson's victory at Harper's Ferry, collapsed without reinforcements. Lee authorized a nighttime withdrawal. Retreating to Sharpsburg, Lee positioned troops along Antietam Creek's surrounding ridges and established headquarters at the Piper Farmhouse, 500 yards south of the sunken road. Longstreet and Hill were hosted by Henry and Elizabeth Piper for dinner and wine. Longstreet's forces mobilized as expected, starting the Battle of Antietam on the 17th. Initially, on September 16th, following breakfast with the Pipers, Longstreet reviewed defenses with Lee. They refused, suspecting possible poisoning, but they resisted after seeing Hill's unaffected state. Officers spent the night in the orchard. The battles centered on Miller's cornfield, nearby Woodlands, and Dunker Church. Before joining Lee and Hill, Longstreet coordinated right flank operations and mounted at the sunken road. Observing Hill's exposed position, Longstreet joked, "If you insist on drawing their fire, allow spacing so avoid their line of sight." Later, artillery fire severed Hill's shoe's legs. "That shot targeted you," Longstreet said dryly. A staff officer recalled Longstreet's unflappable demeanor under fire, his only thrashing horse. "This side, Hill." No, the other tension was revealed by grinding through cigars. Longstreet observed a dark humor as the horse struggled to dismount the slide backward or climb over its head. He directed dry. Once free, the injured horse was put down. From the Piper farm, he observed the brutal battle on the sunken road, which was later dubbed Bloody's Gunson Route Genera. Victory or death, no retreat. The disordered Confederate withdrawal proved futile. Anderson was wounded, transferring command to Roger Pryor. As artillery barrages intensified, Pryor urgently requested support. Longstreet responded, "Lane," while coordinating reinforcements. Deploying Richard Anderson's division to aid Hill allowed Union forces to breach lines. In the midst of chaos, Longstreet dispatched Miller's battery, but casualties forced his staff, Sorrell and Gorey. His improvised gun crews helped repel the Union surge. Post-battle praise for his leadership was redirected in later writings, where he credited D.H. Hill as yesterday's hero for manually loading and firing cannons into advancing troops. Mounted Hot of Virginia achieved Hill's feat. History would be forever competitive, but Hill was from deeper Dixie. Meanwhile, Burnside's corps crossed Antietam Creek, stopped only by A.P. Hill's last-minute reinforcements. The battle ended with 23,000 casualties, America's bloodiest day. Until he arrived late, smoking a cigarette, after helping a Sharpsburg family during a shell-induced fire, Longstreet's staff suffered greatly. Walton took a shoulder bullet. Sorrell was shell-concussed. "You're back, Major." That evening, Longstreet missed Lee's command meeting, which caused concern, and Fairfax lamented his dismissal, saltines. Lee welcomed him with relief, saying, "My old warhorse, speak. We had your counsel." After strategizing, "General, saltines shot." "Right in the back," he cried. Longstreet retorted dryly, "Rejoice it wasn't commander's prepared rations for troops, bracing for dawn's uncertainties." This history buried his truth beneath myths of noble defeat and stainless James Longstreets. The ignored warnings, the fractured command, the sunken road Southern heroes. 23,000 lives perished in a matter of hours. The fields of Antietam didn't just run red with blood. They drowned in the Confederacy's shattered illusions, choked with corpses. Would the South have survived if Lee had obeyed his old war horse? Or was Antietam always destined to be the death knell of a cause built? Here's the question. Longstreet became the villain, not Lee, whose hands were bound by splints and pride. The Confederacy's rotting core, starving men, shattered trust, and leaders clinging to delusions as cannons roared. But when the verdict came, was Longstreet a prophecy, a traitor, or a traitor to the myth? On hubris. Longstreet's account doesn't just expose statical failures. It tears open the question, why do you cling to myths when the truth is this raw, this visceral, this human? Recapping the main points, James Longstreet's revelations about the Battle of Antietam provide a nuanced understanding of this pivotal moment in American history. His perspectives challenge us to rethink the common narratives and appreciate the complexity of the Civil War. If you have any thoughts about Longstreet's revelations or other aspects of Civil War history, please comment below. Don't forget to check out my other videos on Civil War history for more deep dives into America's past.